Hey guys, today's video is all about a pretty contentious issue. There's arguments about this for as long as I can remember. I've been doing this stuff for 15 years and people still argue about it. So I don't think there's an absolute answer to this, which is why it's such a contentious issue. But should you bid on your brand in paid search campaigns? So if you're doing Google ads, Bing ads, that kind of stuff, or Microsoft ads, should you bid on your own brand? So there was a huge kind of discussion about this on Twitter a while back, and people saying things like, we switched off brand and we got the same traffic through organic. So why are we paying Google or Microsoft to send traffic to us when people are searching for our own brand? You will also have the argument of, well, we're organically number one on that, so why would we pay for the click when we're there anyway? Valid arguments, 100%. How about we switched off brand and lost $5 million in revenue in a month? Ouch. Not so good. Okay, so there is no one straightforward answer to this. If you're looking to scale your business online, then do subscribe now. We do these sorts of videos all the time on Google Analytics, Google Ads, Facebook ads, conversion rate optimization, all of that kind of stuff to help you scale your business online. If you need some help with this stuff, we provide this as consultancy, as training, and as managed services. Head to tillison.co.uk and you can find us there. If you need any help with any of this stuff, if you've got any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Then please do comment below the video. So let's take a look at some of the search results because they do differ significantly depending on what you're typing into Google. So if we look at iPhone 12, we can see there's a paid ad. Apple are bidding on their own brand, arguably. O2 is bidding on this brand. EE is bidding on this brand. Carphone Warehouse is bidding on this brand. Okay, so what about Carphone Warehouse? Also bidding on their own brand. Hang on, we've got Mobile Phones Direct and we've got buymobiles.net, and here's Carphone Warehouse in organic position number one. So that argument I mentioned, someone's searching for the brand Carphone Warehouse. Why would we bid on that? Well, because competitors are bidding on that product or bidding on the word Carphone perhaps or whatever, but Google is showing ads for competitors for that, arguably that brand term. How about Marks and Spencer? So this is an interesting one. There are no ads at all. There is no ad pack here. So it wouldn't matter whether Marks and Spencer bid on their brand, and that's only Marks and Spencer, remember, not anything else. So it wouldn't make any difference if you bid on it or not. You'll get no ad impressions, no clicks, it will cost you no money. That also means that no competitors are bidding on that specific exact search term as well. So how about Cloudways hosting? Right, okay, well, Cloudways is organically number one, so why bid on the paid ad to be at the top here? Now, these ads are showing they could be matching the word hosting, for example. They could be bidding on Cloudways hosting. Difficult to tell that for this video at least. And how about GoDaddy domain names? Okay, so we've got GoDaddy domain names and we've got Wix advertising. Maybe they're matching domain names, maybe not. If you type in GoDaddy, by the way, it does the same as the Marks and Spencer. There are no paid ad positions there at all anyway. And then PHS, so this is a bit different. So this is a service company rather than products. And there is only one ad showings, one ad position, and it's occupied by PHS bidding on their own brand. Now, the question here is, hypothetically, and if anyone has any insights into this, if you've tested this, I'd really love to hear from you in the comments. If PHS stopped bidding on their brand, and Google is saying that one ad spot is available for this search term, who would occupy that ad spot? Would it be a competitor bidding on it, assuming there is one? Or would Google remove the ad slot entirely? Would it remove the ad pack entirely because it doesn't have a relevant ad? So that's an interesting question. If you've done this, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So to me, what springs out of those examples is whether your brand is exclusive to you or non-exclusive, or let's talk about direct to consumer. So if you are Carphone Warehouse, then I'm assuming my customer is searching for my brand and is ready to buy from me. Okay, if I'm Apple then actually I am a direct-to-consumer brand, and consumers can buy directly from my website or walk into an Apple store, but also they can buy it through Carphone Warehouse and a whole bunch of other resellers. So that's a different proposition. So my guess is, going back to those statements right at the beginning, that if you are an exclusive brand, so if someone is searching for Carphone Warehouse and you can't buy Carphone Warehouse anywhere else, then actually the impact of turning off paid brand keywords is probably lower than if you are a non-exclusive brand. So actually, Apple as an example, I could buy that from multiple resellers. I don't have to buy that from Apple. So if Apple turn their ads off that are bidding on the word Apple, or Apple iPhone or iPhone 12 or iPhone 58 or whatever it is, then actually Apple would lose a significant amount of revenue because or direct revenue anyway, because those clicks would then go to their resellers rather than coming direct to Apple. So I think that has a pretty big impact. So the next thing we need to just touch on with this is there isn't really a right or wrong kind of answer to that question as to whether you should bid on your brand or not. I think it depends on the context, it depends on the competition, and we'll come back to that. But more importantly, we need to understand that actually once someone types that brand term in, they've been on a whole journey to trust your brand, to be typing it into Google, to wanting to come to your website to then buy the product or service. So we need to understand where are those customers coming from, because they're not actually coming from brand. They're doing something else. They're learning about your brand first and then they're coming. So we need to understand where they are coming from. So that presents, actually, if you're going to switch from one to the other, if you're going to turn paid campaigns off or whatever, then we need to think about the attribution data. And there are some other videos on our channel about attribution models. But if we just look at this from a Google Ads point of view and a Google Analytics point of view, and again looking at paid brand versus organic brand, okay? So if we look at Google Ads and we assume that we're paying for clicks on our brand, and we are using a linear attribution model. Lots of other models available. Check out that other video. But what that means is if your customer searches for men's jackets, searches Google again for men's evening jackets, they've been to a dozen different websites, including Marks and Spencer, and then they know the jacket they want. They've now been paid on payday. They now want to come and order the jacket. They go to Google, they type Marks and Spencer men's jackets, and the third click is the winner. That's what converts that click. So what that means is, let's say that it's a sale of £60, just for example. That means that a third, 33.3% of the conversion of the one, so 0.33 of a conversion is on men's jackets, 0.33 on this, 0.33 on this, and the revenue is split £20, £20, £20, okay? So whether that's right or wrong doesn't really matter for this video, and whether there's a better model, as I say, check that other video out. But how do we compare that if we don't bid on our brand? So now what happens is this is 50% half a conversion, this is half a conversion, this click is worth £30 of revenue, and this click is worth £30 of revenue. Google Ads ignores clicks that do not occur within Google Ads. It's focused 100% on Google Ads. It doesn't care about the organic, doesn't care if Facebook or anything else is included. So that means the value of the men's jacket keyword and the men's evening jackets keyword is much, much higher. I have a slight problem with this because actually Marks and Spencer spend a fortune on TV advertising and everything else, so they've built a huge amount of trust, of brand equity in the Marks and Spencer's brand. So I would argue that that adds some value in there. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion. So actually, if we look at that linear attribution, what we're doing is saying that men's jackets and men's evening jackets actually have far greater value now. They're worth more, those clicks, because we're not now paying for that final click. So just be aware of that when you're comparing kind of return on ad spend figures and return on ad spend figures on keywords, that kind of stuff, especially if you're using automated bidding strategies. It could screw things up quite a bit, so just be aware of that. The next one I wanted to look at was just Google Analytics if we're doing paid brand. Now, mostly in Google Analytics, it will be attributing on last non-direct click attribution. So a direct click is someone coming straight to the website. Analytics doesn't know where that visitor came from. So if someone goes Google Ads, organic, direct, then it will attribute that conversion to that last non-direct click, which is organic in that case. So what happens here is we've got a paid click on men's jackets, we've got a paid click on men's evening jackets, and then we've got a paid click on Marks & Spencer men's jackets. The last non-direct click essentially says 100% of the value of that conversion and that the whole of that one conversion is attributed to Marks & Spencer's men's jackets coming through your paid campaign, and it'll attribute that to Google Ads. Great, okay, well that's fine. So what happens if you're not bidding on your brand? So now we have that kind of slightly invisible men's jacket search. We've then got men's evening jackets, paid keyword in the middle, and then we've got organic Marks & Spencer men's jackets. So what that's doing is going to say that that sale, that revenue, that conversion came through organic, and it's going to say it came through an organic brand term. So you're going to shift the kind of last click attribution or last non-direct click attribution, where you were getting lots of sales through that brand term before. Now you're shifting that and saying no, that's coming through organic. So again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. You have to look at your data. You need to look at your data modeling. You need to compare the attribution models and decide which one of these actually makes the most sense for your brand, for your data, for your customer journey. But it's important to remember, if you're getting a huge amount of brand search that you're paying for, and you're going to switch to organic, you're just going to turn it off or test it or whatever, then you're going to change the modeling quite significantly, or quite possibly anyway. So just be very careful with that, because you're now saying that those clicks have moved and they're worth more or less because of the other clicks in the funnel. So yeah, just really important to have a think about that. If you do need some help with that, again, you can find us at tillison.co.uk, and we provide some consultancy on this stuff to help you make the most of your data. So I'll just wrap this up by saying, check the search engine results, check the SERPs, and look at what's being presented. If Google is showing ads, if Google is not showing ads at all for your brand term, then it's kind of a non-argument. It doesn't make any difference. But just because they're not showing it today doesn't mean to say they won't be showing it in a week or a month, okay? If Google is only showing one ad spot and you are in it, then touch and go. I'd love you to kind of turn it off and tell me what happens. Does Google still keep showing that ad spot? Does it give it to somebody else, a competitor maybe? If your competitors, if it's showing kind of 3 or 4 ads maybe, and competitors are showing ads for your brand term or variations of your brand term, a bit like the cloud-based hosting example that I showed you, then what's going to happen by turning that off is those competitors, their ads are just going to outrank yours, and you will then be there organically rather than paid. And there's an argument that says, look, if someone's looking for Cloudways, they're going to ignore those other guys, but maybe they won't. And those guys could steal a little bit of your lunch. So just be very, very careful with that. If you are a direct-to-consumer brand and the only place that someone can buy this brand of product is from you directly, then my guess is you're probably not, in most circumstances, you are probably not going to lose much traffic and much revenue by turning off that brand paid brand search. So I hope that makes sense. If you've enjoyed that, then please do give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe for more videos on how to scale your business online.